I felt exuberant. I was so excited. I was exalted, like I was happy.
Natasha Horns graduated cum laude 3 years ago with a paralegal associate's degree from an Everest college in California.
We are Everest, healed and wild.
Part of the for-profit education giant Corinthian. Today, the 26-year-old is back in her native Missouri, working part-time at a grocery store for minimum wage. Honest work, but not the career Everest promised her.
They told us that we would have a job in the field that we studied within no more than 6 months. They said that we would be getting paid above minimum wage.
But Horn says her Everest degree commanded so little respect, she couldn't get a foot in the door or transfer her credits to another college.
I tried to take my credits and transfer them over to Fullerton College, and they were like, we don't accept credits from Everest.
She has nothing to show for her Everest experience, except $28,000 in federal student loan debt.
Do you think that you should have to pay back those loans?
No, I don't think I should have to.
So Horns and dozens of other students who attended Corinthian colleges are on debt strike. The self-described Corinthian 100 are refusing to pay back their federal student loans and demanding the Corinthians regulator, the Department of Education, cancel them.
We didn't have the proper education, and we were charged way too much.
Charges that underpinned lawsuits filed by California, Massachusetts, Wisconsin, and the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, accusing Corinthian of predatory lending to low-income minorities, misrepresenting job placement rates and the transferability of credits, and other unlawful practices.
The evidence was compelling enough to underwrite state and federal lawsuits, but not enough to convince the Department of Education to shut down Corinthian or forgive the federal student loans taken out by students like Natasha, who are saddled with worthless degrees and life-altering debt.
Last year, the Department of Education moved to curtail Corinthians' access to federal aid funds, only to have the for-profit announce it would have to declare bankruptcy. But the U.S. Department of Education didn't let Corinthian go under, a move which would have canceled federal loans for all existing students. Instead, the Department of Education kept the funding tabs open and brokered the sale of 56 Corinthian campuses to a student loan debt collection agency, a move that prompted a dozen Senate Democrats, including consumer firebrand Elizabeth Warren, to urge the Department of Education to cancel federal student loans incurred by thousands of Corinthian students.
They're a failed business. Why support them? Why continue to fund them?
Ann Larson is with the Debt Collective, an offshoot of the Occupy movement, which helped organize the Corinthian debt strike.
The Department of Education has been a partner in crime with Corinthian. They have conducted a predatory lending scheme for 2 decades under the auspices of the Department of Education, which has supported it and funded it and done everything that they can to make sure that the top officials in the company, that investors, don't suffer any consequences.
The Department of Education declined our request for an interview to discuss their handling of Corinthian. A spokesperson for the department gave us a statement saying, quote, "We've been concerned about the future of Corinthian students throughout this process, which is why we've taken a series of actions in recent months to protect students from being misled and to hold Corinthian accountable."
I think the Department of Education does not want to set a precedent of mass student loan cancellation, because once these students get what they deserve, in this case, other students who have been scammed and defrauded by their schools are going to want the same thing.
So this is the Corinthian 15.
As for defaulting on student loans, Natasha Horns fully understands the consequences.
I'm not afraid of it. You could take my taxes. You could start garnishing my wages. You're not going to break me.
A message Horns hopes will be echoed by other student debtors.
Coming together and creating a collective, I think we have something. I know we have something, and we can make the Department of Education sweat.